Hello YouTubers, Alaska Prepper here. Ladies and gentlemen, let me remind you that there will be no live stream tomorrow. And can you please give this a like and share it? It seems that maybe I'm not in YouTube's graces again. I got a demonetization a few days ago, and now it seems that they don't want to share my videos with pretty much anyone, ladies and gentlemen. It is what it is. But we got a lot to go over today, so let's go ahead and get right to it. Do you all remember when I talked to you a while back telling you, hey, listen, when the government starts inducing price controls, things are going to get pretty bad. That's going to happen here in the United States of America. But first, it's happening in Canada. Now listen to this. Hunger in Canada. Trudeau controls prices of food in grocery stores, initiating a series of events that will lead to empty shelves. Price controls, ladies and gentlemen, is just like communism. It sounds good on paper, but it never works out, especially for the people. So back in September, ladies and gentlemen, Justin Trudeau told the grocers in Canada, hey, if you don't watch out with these food prices and they keep going up, I'm going to go ahead and impose new taxes on you to punish you for charging the working people so much for food. When in fact, the reason that prices are going up is because of the monetary inflation, which has led to the degradation of the purchasing power of their currency in Canada, same as in many other Western nations. So here it says that he asked the heads of 5 large supermarket chains, including Walmart and Costco, to come up with the plan. And this says, quote, if their plan doesn't provide real relief for the middle class and people working hard to join it, then we will take further action, and we are not ruling anything out, including tax measures, says Justin Trudeau. Trudeau's demand that grocery stores create the means for lowering the price of food is ironically a plan for empty shelves. We import 50% of what we consume. And do you think that Trudeau is going to put price controls on all of the countries we import from? He cannot. And this gentleman here, Mr. Ritz, says our shelves are going to be empty and the prices have to go up because the overhead cost of those stores, all of the handling, all of the transportation are still here. And he's talking about like gas prices, diesel prices, all of those input costs that make the price of things go up. Remember that inflation is a monetary phenomenon, meaning that inflation occurs when the money supply goes up. However, the price of things going up is a symptom of inflation. So if you have inflation in the money supply and then gasoline goes up or diesel goes up, everything that is affected by gasoline or diesel will go up as well. Now he continues to say here that the plan is a recipe for disaster for a trading nation like Canada. It sends those ripples out across the world that Canadian agriculture is going to shrink, not grow to feed the hungry world, he added. And over a month after the measure that Trudeau implemented, new government data shows that food prices in Canada continue to climb. And it says here that food prices have only gotten worse since then. And Trudeau has found the same scapegoat as many other unversed in basic economic, and that's who? The grocers, the greedy grocers. The Foundation for Economic Education pointed out on its website, politicians such as Trudeau cannot admit that it's their own policies and money printing that are to blame for high food prices. The nonprofit further said that Trudeau is parroting the rhetoric of some U.S. politicians by aiming at grocers and record profits. And one of the leaders of Canada's Conservative Party, his name is Pierre Poilievre, I believe that's how you pronounce it, mirrored the same sentiment. Trudeau prints $600 billion, grows our money supply by 32% in 3 years. That's growing the money 8 times faster than the economy. No wonder we have the worst inflation in 4 decades. It's important that we understand what inflation is and what are the repercussions of having high inflation. Prices are a result of inflation. You have to understand that the money supply getting larger means that dollars are buying you less, and therefore it's going to take more dollars to buy you more. It's just basic economics that's not really taught in schools anymore. Remember the droughts that we were having last year, and it was getting difficult or very expensive for ranchers and farmers to buy feed for their cattle? Well, now that's catching up to us, ladies and gentlemen. Why? Because they had to cull a lot of their herd because they couldn't afford to feed them. And although culling that large part of their herd made the prices of beef go down a little bit for a while, well, now it's catching up to us, and the price of beef is going to start going back up. One of the reasons why the price of beef hasn't really gone up as much as it will here in the next year or so is because we've been importing record amounts. So the supply is there. The prices are a little bit stable. They're still pretty high, but they're a little bit stable. But you're going to see it going up even farther into the stratosphere here in the next couple of years. There is no relief in sight. U.S. beef prices hit record high as nation's cattle herd expected to shrink through 2025. Brazilian processor Marfrig Global Foods SA warned the U.S. cattle herd will continue shrinking through the midpoint of the decade. Less supplies will pressure meat packers and keep the prices of steak and hamburgers at elevated levels. I guess that what that guy said, Klaus Schwab, I think is his name, he said that meat will become a luxury and that it will become a treat that you have once in a while. Besides then, you better get used to your bugs, ladies and gentlemen, because that's where they want to take us. As we've noted, years of drought and high feed costs forced ranchers across the Midwest to send the cows to slaughterhouses, leading to a sharp reduction in the nation's overall herd size. And in January, the cow herd size was the smallest since 1962. Also, U.S. beef exports are forecasted to slide 14% this year from 2022 to 3 billion pounds, the lowest since the early days of the health crisis when there was a lot of meatpacking plants and processing plants closing. The USDA warned U.S. beef production is expected to decline further next year, and this is what they want, ladies and gentlemen. This is exactly what they want. Last week, Pete Bonds, a Texas-based cattle producer, told Reuters, listen to this, the future of this industry, meaning the beef industry, is not here in the United States. Remember I told you that this administration, in my opinion, has been doing their best to try to implode our systems from within. Well, look, you have a rancher here who's been in the business for a while, I'm assuming, saying, hey, this industry is no longer here in the United States. It's gonna go away. Food inflation remains sticky, and soon beef will be a luxury only the rich can afford. As for the working poor, Tyson plans to build a new insect plant in 2025. It's not even funny. You know why it's not funny? Because it's true. I'm not going to get into this one, ladies and gentlemen, but I will be providing you all with a link on a pinned comment of all of the articles that I go over. And let me go ahead and remind you that Opus is having their Black Friday sale, and they started early. They're going on now all the way through the 28th of this month, and they have some really good prices. And in addition to the good prices that they have, I have a 10% coupon that you can use to get an additional 10% off. Take a look at the link that I'm going to leave on a pinned comment. And if you do decide to purchase one, thank you very much for your support, because I am affiliated with Opus and I do get a small commission for every sale. But make sure that you remember to use that 10% off code, because it makes a big difference on how much you're paying per watt hour after you include that 10% off code. AP, so what that China and Russia are signing a contract for a huge deal on grains? It's between them. Exactly, ladies and gentlemen, that is the point of this article, is that they are doing more and more business. And what do you think they're using as a currency? They're bypassing the US dollar. This is just another nail in the coffin of the US dollar. It's not going to happen tomorrow. Probably won't happen next month or next year. It could, but it will happen eventually. So protect yourselves, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure that you protect your wealth, however it is that you feel is appropriate for you to do so. Me, I'm not a financial advisor, but I like to protect my excess wealth, whatever I have extra, after I've got all my living done and after my preps are topped off. I put that excess wealth in a little bit of gold and silver. Why? Because it retains its purchasing power over time. And ladies and gentlemen, take a look at this. This is what it's going to look like worldwide if we have a CBDC. All right, so take a look at this and ask yourselves, is this what I want? All right, even if you agree with the thing that they're getting here, is this what I want, to be forced to put something into my body that maybe I wouldn't pick otherwise? With a CBDC, they will be able to do this unless you decide to live outside of the working economy. And this, ladies and gentlemen, I thought was pretty interesting. Just go ahead and read it for yourself. And if you want to revisit it, go ahead and take a look at the link that I'll leave on a pinned comment. But there's definitely a problem if this is becoming an industry. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is just a reminder that there is a two-class system in this country, and the law does not apply equally across the board. So be careful what you do. If you want to practice your First Amendment right, by all means, practice it. But people like this in this situation are more than likely going to get a slap in the wrist, whereas people that actually love their country and are not actually protesting for another country, but that actually love their country, those people are going to get hit hard when they go do this stuff. So be careful. Just be careful, ladies and gentlemen. In my opinion, we're going through a cycle, and it doesn't matter how much protesting is done, it's going to end bad. So get prepared, stay prepared, and just hold on. God bless every one of you. God bless America. I'm Alaska Prepper. I'm out.